Today I'm making a video of my top 15 games that changed my life for the span of PS1, 2, 3, 4. These are my games, the games that actually changed my life, that were revolutionary to my imagination. In this list, you'll probably see that I include sagas because I felt like it wasn't gonna do justice if I only added one game in a cluster of amazing storytelling. And I believe this video was due because right now we're about to end on the cycle of PS4. PS5 is going to be coming this winter, so I'm pretty excited for that new system. I'm a PlayStation fan. I've only had PlayStation my entire life. I've had Xbox maybe 1, 2 here and there, but they were pretty much just gifted from my family. No offense to the Microsoft players, yes. I'm sorry. Well, the thing about it is that and the games themselves also, they might be cross-platform. Some of them might just be an exclusive from PlayStation. So I just really wanted to add together what I played in the PlayStation, and you'll know what is an exclusive or not. I'll let you know if I remember on this video to tell you. So from the number 15 to 1, it really doesn't matter the number that they're in. The importance of the games to me are equal, except honestly, I'm going to put the top 3 games are going to be the most impactful in my life playing PlayStation, and the most revolutionary games, in my opinion, again, for my imagination. So again, if you have other games that impacted you, they might not be included. So please bear with me. This is me, my area, my mind. All right. But yeah, I hope you enjoy. And here are my top 15 games for PlayStation / Saga. I mean, what did I just say? Now, number 15, Need for Speed 1, 2, and 3. Now, these 3 games were actually revolutionary in terms of how you go about racing, what you want to do at night, you know, pink slip, racing, adrenaline, money, bets, everything that you wanted to do and you couldn't do it because the cops will catch you or you will die in a car crash. These games had it all. 1, 2, and 3, especially 1 and 2, the Underground Saga, were my favorite racing games of all time. Still to this day are my favorite racing games of all time. I have not played the newest one that came out on PlayStation 4. I believe it was Hot Pursuit, if I am not mistaken. It probably is that one. But I even remember to this day, my first car having to be the Skyline, the Nissan Skyline on Underground 2 because of Paul Walker and the Fast and Furious movies. But my favorite car of all of Need for Speeds, it might not be the fastest right now, but honestly I think it's still the coolest car that you could ever see, was the car in the cover of Most Wanted, Need for Speed Most Wanted, for PlayStation 2, and that is the BMW GTR, no, BMW MTR, no, BMW GTR M5. Oh my god, I'm butchering it. It is the BMW in front of the cover. No other racing franchise has topped it for me. Now in Gran Turismo, this is the one. Ghost Recon. The Ghost Recon games were actually something that I enjoyed a lot because I'm a very tactical gamer. Like in terms of war, I play Call of Duty, but it is not my favorite. I can play, you know, do my kills, do my everything. But Ghost Recon, every single time, I just loved the dynamic of team playing, having a 4-man squad, and you guys helping each other out. But the first game that actually introduced me to that in terms of the franchise was Future Soldier. Future Soldier was actually pretty good in terms of cinematic, and the controllers for me were very smooth and also rough, but in a good way at the same time. I don't know how I would explain it, but it drove me to getting more interested in terms of how you craft your weapons and what scope you need to put in, what trigger the recoil, the stock of it, how to work things out so that your gun can be the best and the most precise, and you make it for whatever type of game you want to be. You want to be a tank, you just want to be a marksman. So it was really something that I enjoyed a lot. I know that there's more games that do this, like SOCOM and all, and you know, other games out there that do almost the same thing. But for me, what started that was Ghost Recon Future Soldier. Number 13, Crash Bandicoot. So this game on PlayStation 1 was the shit. Like, this game would just make me want to throw everything that was in my possession. And of the rage of this animal jumping into the lava when I didn't want him to, or when I didn't ask him to, and then you try it a billion times until you lose like 20 freaking lives, and then you can make the jump or evade the electricity. Like, it was frustrating, but it was so enjoyable because it was quick. It was quick to it. It was, you need to finish it, simple, quick, don't get hit. So it and also the cuteness of these animals being together, and this freaking deranged scientist with an N written in his forehead. At that time, I was about like 8, 9, and it was actually very innovating to me because I played all three. I'm definitely getting the fourth one for sure, but all of them, I was they were very enjoyable. Each one of them had their own thing, and they innovated in terms of how you can play the game and the accessibility of the abilities. Like in the first one, you can't double jump. In the second one, you can double jump, I think, and then you can jump, and then you can flat on your face and all that. And then the third one, the motorcycles, the jet skis. When you're running, it's like the running games that these guys are running from, like the boulders. They're really fun. It was really fun. And I don't know, I think these games on the phone, the boulder ones, actually took it from Crash, if I'm not mistaken. Like, that's, oh, yeah. Anyway, Crash Bandicoot. The Spider-Man games. Now, we're going to start off with the Spider-Man game from PlayStation 1. This game was everything I wanted. This is my favorite superhero. It was what I expected it to be. Even though when he shoot the web was shooting like he had a punch, and the web would came like this. He would do this, and the web would come out. I honestly, back then, you know, the bits weren't working as properly, and he couldn't do the fingers, and then go like that. But you know he was trying to do it. And I remember that the first Spider-Man villain in the very end was a mixture of Dr. Octopus with Carnage, the symbiote mixed with him, and then he became this Doc Carnage and all that, and you had to escape the facility, and it was really fun. Like, back then, you would scale, you would shoot the web at the freaking clouds. That was the how you held on and you kept on swinging. That was crazy. The second one, with the villain was Electro, and that was a little bit harder when I played it. At least back then, you know, back then you're a kid, you think everything's hard, you don't have the patience to actually finish the game the proper way. Or, I mean, the proper way for whom? Just not fast enough. The PlayStation 4 one. Whoosh. That is a Spider-Man game. Thank you, Sony. That is a Spider-Man game. That is the wall-crawling game of all time. Like this, that's what I wanted as an adult. As a kid, I had that PS1 game. As an adult, I got the PS4 one, which is exactly the one that I needed for this time in technology and Avengers and everything that's going on, and back is British. That was the Spider-Man game that I wanted. You know, shooting webs through the to the buildings, jumping, all that, and giving me everything, every ability that you can see in the movies and in the freaking TV shows. Everything that you can think of, every bit of technology that Spider-Man has. They would put like the web bombs and the freaking mine webs, grenades, and all that kind of stuff. It was amazing, and the fighting system was really cool, and the story, woo, bro. And they used it again. They kind of used the first Spider-Man game and put it here because it's the first Spider-Man game in a while that really deserves to have its name. And they used Doc Ock again because Doc Ock is really a great villain. Even though Norman Osborn is in the game, Dr. Octopus in this game was scary as hell. He was scary. Like, when he would attack you, it was like no mercy. Just kind of like in the movie. It was fantastic. This game was, oh my god. I have never cursed in a game that much in minutes, in seconds, in my life. This is Bloodborne. This was my first introduction to the Dark Soul type of era game, and I had no idea what I was expecting. This was my first time getting into something like this, and boy oh boy, I didn't go into anger management because my parents were there to actually calm me down, and my wife was, when at the time we were just boyfriend and girlfriend, she was there, and it was something else. I can play the game right now, and I can be as patient as possible, and I can be good, and it's like, yes, okay, I died, I gotta do it again, and if I keep dying, I'm just gonna turn off, and I wanna play another game. But honestly, this was my first introduction to what they called the Dark Souls type of game, which was Bloodborne again. And to be honest, I didn't actually get to finish the entire game. I went, from what I heard, I got almost close to the end. It's been a while since I played it. I still haven't. And I am definitely planning to get back on it. But I can tell you that if I put 100% a completion of the game, from what I've heard and people have told me, I just got to 90%. So I played most of the game to understand what type of game this is and how much fun it is. But then I had to stop, I don't know why I stopped, because I think it was because another game came out. I don't know. Or I just got too angry at the game that I needed to stop, and then I never just went back into it. And this is about like 3 years ago that the game kind of came out, or probably more. Not quite sure. But Bloodborne. Number 10 is a very popular game that we've all known and loved since PlayStation 1, and this is the Resident Evil saga. The Resident Evil saga, for me, is something of a freaking idol right there, that it's untouchable. And like, everybody knows it. You say Resident Evil, oh, Resident Evil, oh, Resident Evil, oh, Resident Evil, oh. So like, that was the ultimate scary game of its generation. It's still on since PlayStation 1. Like, I couldn't freaking beat that nemesis, or I was too scared to play the game when I was young. It was PlayStation 1. I was still around 8 to 9. And honestly, I could not finish the game at that time because it was insane. So as I grew up, I finished the games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. And it was, the ultimate zombie games. Of course, since then, there's been a lot of scary games that have been coming out. And for instance, The Evil Within is one of the games that also kind of resembles a little bit of Resident Evil, but it's more of a psychological game in terms of that. And the gameplay is similar to what we've seen right now, like in the remake of Resident Evil 2 and 3. But that's one of the examples that that game I really loved as well. So it's kind of hard to put them here. There's a lot of games that I really love, but again, these are the ones that changed my life, and then I could play these games after. So Evil Within came after. So Resident Evil is still the big dog in that area. From the old ones to the remasters to the remakes, every single one. So, favorite zombie game, Resident Evil.
You haven't forgotten about us, have you, boy?
Hell no, Officer Tenpenny. I was just wondering what took y'all so long.
Now, number 9, this game is very popular, and it actually holds the record for most sold franchise ever. I think it is. This is Grand Theft Auto in general. Like, Grand Theft Auto 5 is holding the record, but Grand Theft Auto in general is actually a very extreme popular game for whoever you meet, whatever type of gamer you can find. they have played at least one Grand Theft Auto game in their lives. Now, I haven't played all of them. I got introduced to Grand Theft Auto in Vice City, but out of all of them, my favorite one is San Andreas. San Andreas, I got it for Christmas in 2014. I was still too young to actually play the game because the game is mature for 17. And to be quite honest, the game is, it doesn't do any wrong to you. It's just an escape. Now, again, it is an influence to, younger kids who don't know how to differentiate from good and bad and real and false. And at the time, yes, I could still differentiate, and I was well aware of what's good and bad. It was just the escape for me to actually do what I can do in the game that I will definitely 100,000% not even cross my mind ever do in real life. So Grand Theft Auto is one of those games that you can call an escape. You can do whatever you want in that game, whenever you want, and it just has a story within it. But you can just go and drive, and you can yell at people, you can bling, and you can do anything crazy that you want. So to me, that game was revolutionary in that aspect because it was. I don't want to say this for sure, but to me, in my mind, at the time, it was the first game ever to let me be free and do whatever I wanted, not to go in detail what I was doing when I was going around all this crap, But yeah, for me, GTA whole, but it's GTA San Andreas.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Number 8, and I believe that this game should be in everybody's list, in my opinion, because this game is also another superhero game that we wanted, and is one of the most popular superheroes on DC's side, and this is the Batman saga. Like all the Batman games that came out starting in 2000, well, not the year, but starting on PlayStation 3, there were more Batman games before, but this one was a whole new thing, a whole new introduction to how we're going to see Batman, the roughness of this guy that kicks butt, ass, whatever you want to call it, and destroys people's faces and criminals and Gotham. The Arkham games were like, what? This was also another revolutionary game into superheroes. And to be quite honest, and people would say this, I believe Batman was the gateway for the Marvel Spider-Man game to actually, use Batman as a catapult to the gameplay and being able to tell a story of a superhero. So if you would say, maybe I'm wrong and there's another game out there, but you could say that the pioneer to the video games of superheroes was the Batman. And the Arkham series, from the first that you play in the Arkham Asylum, you gotta beat down the Joker when he's taking that serum, and Bane. You see, I think you fight Ivy. I forgot. But anyway, to Arkham City, which out of all the games, Arkham City is like, like that game had a story. Now the third one, Arkham Knight, I kind of predicted it right in between the middle, like that was gonna be Jason Todd, and they were saying that was a new villain and all that. It's like, no, bro. It's the same, boy, the same villain. You just dressed him up differently and gave him a different name. It's that villain existed at the time, like an anti-hero. Let's call it an anti-hero. But you didn't do that different. Like, what I did love was that I could finally ride the freaking Batmobile and I could catapult myself from it and then keep flying even more, gliding more than in Arkham City. Arkham Origins was the one that people liked less. I had no problem with it. It was just, honestly, if you put every single one, that probably will be the last one, rating them together. But just because it's the last doesn't mean it was like worse. No, you put, which one was from best to least best. None of the games were bad or worse and all that kind of stuff. Like, come on, man. It's a video game. Batman.
I'll talk to her. Maybe she'll listen. But with the shape the world's in, it'll only be delaying the inevitable.
This game was what the hell? What is this? Now, this reaction is not like, this is garbage. No, this reaction is, I have no idea what this game is going to be about. This game is Death Stranding, created by one of my favorite game designers, or probably the only one, Hideo Kojima. this guy and this game, well, let's start with this guy. This guy knows how to, tell a story. And I think this guy signs a lot of non-disclosure agreements with a lot of sections in the freaking world and government. Because if you look at the games that he's made, and one of the most famous games that he's made is on my list, and it's on my top 3. It kind of predicts everything that's been going on in the world. And he can tell from a game what's gonna be probably happening in the future. So again, Death Stranding. Death Stranding is with one of the famous actors from Walking Dead, Norman Reedus. It's about a post-apocalyptic world where we see spirits and acid rains, and all these kind of things are happening in the world that it's very different from what it's been done already. So nobody can touch each other. And mask. The game actually introduces that. Now they have acid rain, which they have to wear special gear, clothing, so that the rain, can't penetrate that clothing and actually hurts you. You actually age with that. Little details where you have to press the R2 to pick up a case, and then if you release it, it just drops. Same thing with the left. Different types of things. And this game was pretty much a messenger type of game. Like, you're the best messenger in this era, and we have to deliver this from point A to point B without getting hit or stuck in by the dead, which is honestly a very incredible, cool concept in my opinion. And it's innovating. I enjoy. I have patience. I develop patience from those games that actually make me angry so much. But I enjoy, and I like to taste the detail in games, and I really don't dismiss games like that. Just like when I see movies, I look at the good side of it, and I try and depict every single detail of this game that I enjoyed, and not everybody's going to enjoy the same thing as me. But Death Stranding actually introduced me to more things that I thought I would not know about or see, and that a video game could do. Now, you'd be surprised if this is number 6. Again, it really doesn't matter, but the top 3, this is the Uncharted saga. What? Is that on your tip? Yeah, I mean, it's still on my top 15. The Uncharted saga was also a very revolutionary to me, in my mind. I don't remember a game that you could jump, scale, monkey climb mountains, ropes of freaking nature, and ships and sail, because this is a mixture of the movie's National Treasure from Nicolas Cage, Indiana Jones. It is like a mixture of all the action and all the treasure and all the info and all the freaking past, like pyramids and El Dorado treasure. And it was fantastic because it was a very historical game with a personalized storyline that you get to see where Nathan Drake goes through and what happens to him because his obsession with hunting treasures and chasing the stories that have been lost to history throughout the centuries. And I enjoy that a lot because, again, stories to me are very important. Gameplay is important as well. Uncharted was one of those that actually innovated in terms of learning about history, and I know Assassin's Creed also did that, and I didn't play them that much, but when I played them, I didn't feel so much invested into the history that might have been real. It created more of a fantasy because, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like Uncharted made sense to me more chasing history than Assassin's Creed. So that's why the Uncharted saga, is right there with my top 15 of all time in PlayStation games. Yeah.
I don't think I can hit a target moving that fast.
Number 5. We got Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. This game, boy, now, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Not a lunatic for it. I'm a fan. I enjoy the wars in the stars. I enjoy everything that I see. I even depict like the episodes and take out what's really important from all the movies. This game, Fallen Order, this game gave me what I wanted from Star Wars. I wanted a game that I could be a Jedi. I wanted a game that I could swing that lightsaber and cut people in half, cut stormtroopers, block freaking blasters, and do all that kind of crazy shit and enjoy it. Cause I played Battlefront 2 and I enjoy it as well, but it's more that game is more a shooter than when you go and play as Darth Vader, as Leia, as Chewie, Kylo, and that mode is enjoyable. But this one, it's more personalized for you to be that Jedi, to just the function and the system and the engine was built for you to feel like you're the Jedi. And Kyle Kestis was a great character in this new saga, and he is canon now. Like they said, this character is canon. So I'm pretty excited to see what else they're going to do, because they already announced that there was going to be a second game. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, especially the time that I got to see Darth Vader and I confronted him. Yo, that gave me goosebumps, because I have a freaking big ass TV that has good surround sound, and the way that guy started breathing and walking, and you could feel his pressure like the force when he dropped, like boom. It's like, holy shit, that is a freaking bad guy. Star Wars. Now, with this number 4, I know I said 3. Like the top 3 are like in terms of favoritism, but if I put this outside of the 3 and I say the top, what was it, like the top 11, and the last one is my favorite of those 11 because it changed even more, this is The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3 was my first introduction to games of Middle-earth, witchcraft, and all that kind of stuff. This game was the first game that I tried that had anything to do with crafting weapons, crafting spells, crafting whatnot. Lores of medieval times, close to what's it called? Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, those type of games, World of Warcraft. But this was the first game that I actually, in my mind, because before that, I never liked to play those type of games. I was strictly like linear games, and I just want to get from point A to point B, and that's it. The only one that I had an exception with was Grand Theft Auto, and I took initiative as I was working in GameStop, and we were discussing about this game, and this game looked actually pretty good. And I said to myself, you know what, because I'm working at GameStop, I am going to buy this game, and then when I buy this game, I want to be able to talk about it. I want to be able to say to people, oh, this game is good, this game's bad, and, I want to be included into that conversation. So, I bought it. This was like 2015, if I'm not mistaken, 2015, and lo and behold, this game won Game of the Year. And when I started playing this game, and I started seeing the sword fighting, the lore, the Gwent game, the choose, what do you do with this guy, the open world, the riding of the horse, and all that. I know Red Dead Redemption already had it. I kind of played it, I didn't actually play it. I saw my uncle play it a couple times on Xbox. I never played it till like now as an adult. To be honest, it blew me away. And all the content, I'm sounding like a broken record, all the lore, it really interests me, because I don't know if you guys know the show, but I'm pretty sure you do, but there's a show called Supernatural. That is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. And me watching that show for 15 years, every single season, all the lore that it has, like how you kill this, how you kill that, the vampires, the angels, and all that, I actually felt like I was playing Supernatural in medieval times. And I'm really hoping that they make a Witcher 4, because with this new system that's coming out, the PS5, with all the specs and the higher quality and resolutions and all that, and the processing system that's gonna be super even faster, like really good. you'll have probably another Game of the Year award with this game. The Witcher 3.
Be careful, little eyes, what you see. Oh, be careful, little eyes, what you see.
All right, now we're down to the last 3. Outlast 2. Yes, Outlast 2. You know, I've heard about this game so much, and I kind of was a little bit afraid to play the game because I knew it was that scary. But when I played it, it was scarier than I already knew how scary it was. And the impact, like my hands were shaking. I was always getting goosebumps. I was genuinely afraid for my life, even though I knew it was a freaking video game. At every single drop of blood or letter or noise or new scenery, and you could even see in my videos, because I actually made a playthrough with it. You could see like 9 episodes of it, or 10 I think it was. This game shook me to my core with the scares, the sounds, and I played it with my headset, which is, to be quite honest, it's the best way that you can play a video game with your headset, surround sound, unless you have a freaking, you know, stereo like room like that that can immerse you into it. If not, use a headset, because I know it's scarier. I know like the sound is right there in your ear, but it immerses you into the experience. And that's what I want from video games. And this game actually did it. This game scared me like 10 times more than what the Resident Evil saga has done. And especially because it's first person. So it's like the game is here. This is the game. Not like in Resident Evil where you could see the character outside of Resident Evil 7. You could see the character and you could at least see like its peripheral vision, but you got like a 360 view. Not so much, because you still have to turn around to see the back. But you got that like rotating camera with it. But in Outlast 2, boy, whew. And then the surprise was that we were playing this game and we were thinking like, is this a jump scare game? But then the story kept on going and going, and then when we reached the end, it like blew our minds, because it wasn't just of what we were thinking. Like there was more to the story. And fun fact, when I finished the game and looked at the chapters were books of the Bible. Like what? And it all made sense. So the game was actually left to speculation and to see what actually happened to the protagonist. And a 4th one is coming. If you guys already haven't seen the trailers, check it out. Again, freaking effed up this game is. But again, it shakes you to your core, but it also has a story within it. So you just gotta pay attention to it while you're getting your freaking mind blown away. Alright, so Outlast 2.
You think I'd let you do this on your own?
Alright, this game, number 2, it's been very controversial the last few days. Last few weeks, actually. The first one released almost 6 years ago. The other one released this year, about a month ago. And this is The Last of Us. The Last of Us is one of the most amazing games that has been created. I include the first one and the second one in this. I'm actually trying to finish the second one right now, and I'm making videos for it as well. I'm almost close to the end. And even the first one, since the first one, the new introduction to the stealth mode and the zombies, the story with it, like you had to, you know, smuggle out this girl because she was going to be the cure for humanity. And then in the second one, spoiler alert, spoiler, down, go, wait, spoiler, and the second one, you get to know that, you know, Joel, the main character, fucked up in killing the doctor that actually was going to extract the cure from her to actually, you know, cure the freaking clickers and all the fungus, the spores, not the fungus. Second one, I know there's been a lot of controversy on like people hating on this game for various reasons, and to play this game I had to take breaks at a time because it was a very emotional game. It's still a very emotional game. Like it takes its toll because something happens to the main character that you played with in the first game, and you know, it's shocking. Yes, it is shocking. It is very visible, and you're like taken back and like, oh my goodness, like what? But this game gives you so many perspectives into what's happening, and I completely agree. Like, you have to look at both sides. I can't wait to finish this game, but like I said, I took my time with the game because you need to breathe from all the emotion that goes on, and that actually lets you think through like what's going on. Last of Us, this game turned around a lot of things in my brain, and both of them are fantastic games. I honestly don't feel anything negative. More so, I actually found the purpose of the game for me in my heart and my mind and my soul. And this is just a game. It's a game. It's not your life. It's not life. It's a game. Come on, it's a game. Enjoy the ass-kicking, zombie-killing, freaking maneuvers and crafting parts of the game, and the story is a story. It's could be reality.
Kept you waiting, huh?
Now we've come to number 1. The game that changed my mind in gaming forever. The games, actually, is the Metal Gear Solid Saga. The Metal Gear Solid Saga was something that I never knew it could exist in a freaking video game. Like, this is a genuine movie in a video game. It was the first game to do this that I recall. It was the first game to introduce cinematic, like not cinematic, but the way of a cinematic movie, big ass production type of film in a video game, and you can play through this freaking magnificent story that Hideo Kojima, again, back with Hideo Kojima, gave us. Like, that guy knows things, signing NDAs all around the world with the military and all the kind of stuff, like doctors and stuff, and he says nothing. He just puts it into a video game, and it just comes to life. So, like, the first Metal Gear Solid game, I could not finish it while I was young again. Again, it came in 1998. I couldn't get freaking past the freaking walls that looked different because I was too dumb as a kid to find out that this wall that's different, you can put that freaking C4, blow it up, you go in, and you find Ocelot right there tying a guy up with freaking barbed wire or whatever. I forgot what it was that tied up. But the fact that you find your twin brother, this is like some sort of Star Wars type of thing, like, I'm your father, Luke, I'm the bad guy, and then this is my brother, it's my twin brother, what? You know, and their father was this freaking legendary soldier and mercenary later on that became, you know, super legendary and has his own base. You know, that you follow the story of father and son, but you're the son for most of the time, and then you go back and being the father in Metal Gear Solid 3, which honestly was one of the best games that they put out there. It is, like, I love all the Metal Gear games. I love them all. But people put Metal Gear Solid 3 in, like, the main one. For me, it is not. For me, the main Metal Gear game is Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots. Why? Because it was the ultimate cinematic Metal Gear game. People complain that there was more cutscenes than gameplay. You know what? I don't freaking care, because to me it was 50-50. And to end a saga completely, like, it didn't end the games there, but it did end the final, like, the last few steps of the last Snake alive, and it was insane. Like, this guy was old, the technology was fantastic. It was like 2035, I think it was the year 2035. It was something like that, 2035 or 2025 in the story's years, and you know, it was like, whoa. And I can't remember clearly the details of, you know, the economy, the things about the Patriots, because I clearly knew that a little bit a while back. But Metal Gear Solid 4 was the top game. Metal Gear Solid 5 is actually my second best. The third one is Solid, and the fourth one is the third. People are like, what? You're crazy. Look, man, this is my personal list. This is my heart and my soul. Metal Gear Saga is still number 1. Now, if we put the games and select which one is better than the other one, listen, again, they're all great. The most enjoyed one, and in terms of story and like I see like holy jeez, mind blowing. I started with the 4, then the 5, because the 5 was insane as well, and the second one is my 5th. Now the ones that I play, like the Peace Walker and all that, Peace Walker was also good. It was just comic book, and I enjoyed the fact that it was like a comic book, but it still put me in a place where I wanted more. I wanted to see the cutscenes. I wanted to see old Snake. I wanted to see him move. It didn't bother me, but I felt like I wanted that. And what I feel like, I know that Kojima's not there, but Konami should do this, is remake or remaster to the new engine, a new PlayStation 5. They should do Metal Gear Solid 3 again, and the first 2 Metal Gears that came out, like Metal Gear and then Metal Gear Solid Snake, the ones for Nintendo. They should do those 2. They should do those 2, and then trust me, you're complete. Like it's the circle is entirely complete. Like the story is done. The story is done. You don't need to put more story, because after Metal Gear Solid 5, there's Metal Gear as part of the story. You could just incorporate, side quests or something like that, or something in history books like they did in the tapes. You could put that, but to get the broad picture of how it began in Metal Gear, that one, and then Metal Gear 2, you should do that. It made more sense when I actually saw when I played Metal Gear 5, that the first boss you beat is Venom Snake, and then the other one that you beat later on in Metal Gear Solid 2 is the actual big boss. Yeah, guys, Metal Gear, that's my number 1 saga game, PlayStation. I enjoy them a lot, and I'm really anticipating this new system, PlayStation 5. Brand new games are coming out. Like I'm anticipating the Miles Morales Spider-Man and the Resident Evil game. There's actually a few more that I saw, and I was like, wow, like they're starting really strong. It's the first year that they start really strong with games, the lineups. Of course, they're not all coming at the same time, but at least the launch titles were pretty good. So I'm really anticipating that. I'm really excited for it. Again, this is my list. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to leave in the comments below what's your top 15 list or saga. If not, that's okay as well. Just hit the like button and subscribe if you did enjoy and you want to see more content on our channel. Again, this is the Legacy Universe. My name's John. Thank you for watching.